The 365 Pro Wrestling.
365 Nation, what's shaking? This is Michael B, and you're listening to me. This is episode 64 of the 365 Pro Wrestling Podcast. Since I have no school, I've been put to work as your special host. Stop. Wait a minute. I'm not getting paid. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go play Fortnite.
Well, that didn't quite go to plan. But regardless, we have episode 64 today, and our guest is the character himself. That's what I'm going to call him. He is Tex Lexus, so join me just in a second here, and we'll talk to Tex.
365 Nation, Eddie Osborne here, and today my guest is the one and the only Tex Lexus. How you doing, man?
Well, how you doing, Eddie Osborne?
I'm doing pretty good, and I know you're below ground right now, but you got a great signal.
Well, it's a new satellite phone that I got from a friend out there in Europe that I got. Yeah, you're right. We're 2 miles below the Mojave Desert right now in a bunker that I had constructed. Jacob's with me, and we're just kind of riding this out while the world ends.
See, I know the world's ending, but before it does, are we ever going to find out who Jacob is?
Jacob, yeah. Well, Jacob's my assistant. Everybody knows that. I think that's all you really need to know. What, you want him on TV? You want him in the shows and stuff? I'm kind of trying to make these shows look better, and Jacob's not a very good-looking man, so I don't know if you want to ugly the place up. As for now, he's just my assistant. He's behind the scenes, helping me out with all my personal decisions.
We just feel like we've never seen him. It's the guy in the background who's never, his face isn't seen like Wilson, and we just want to know who he is, I think, as fans. So you say he's ugly. Is it something you did to him or how you found him? What's the story between you two?
Well, Jacob, I found him at a bus station in Dallas. He came in from the Midwest, Kansas, I believe. I'm not really sure, but I rescued him from this bus station. There were some guys making some propositions and stuff, but I broke that up real quick. And the thing with Jacob is he had a pretty terrible deep fryer accident back when he was, I believe, 14 or 15, working in the fast food industry. And his face isn't too pretty right now. So, I've come to accept it. I kind of look the other way when he's in the room. I don't want to be disgusted or nothing. So, like I said, it might kind of freak the fans out, but since the fans have been so nice to me lately, and if they're calling for Jacob, maybe I'll bring Jacob along. Who knows?
Wow, that's you hear her first, people. You might even bring Jacob out. But right now we have no shows lined up. What are you doing with your time down there underneath the desert?
Well, doing a lot, keeping busy. Reading books, playing my guitar. Playing little video games online. I don't really do that, but now I got time to do it. So. That's fine. And, of course, I'm bossing Jacob around, keeping the bunker clean. And, he's been working out, doing the P90X. And I think he's putting together some kind of Harry Potter puzzle. Whatever keeps the simpleton like him busy, that's fine. So, we're not really doing much. I can't believe you're doing too much out there on the island either.
Being as we have a whole lot less people here, I can get out to the lake. I can do some fishing. No one's around me. It's great times. I'm just doing everyday life. I'm missing the wrestling, and I'm sure you are too. But let's talk about how did Tex Lexus, how did you get into pro wrestling?
Well, I was a fan of pro wrestling, since birth, basically. You grow up in Dallas or grow up in Texas. That's kind of the way it is. I've been a fan ever since I was a little kid. My grandpappy, Jebediah, used to bring me down to the Dallas Sportatorium. We watched the big matches. I always liked, guys like, Ric Flair, the Four Horsemen. I liked the Funks. I wasn't too partial on the Von Erichs. They were kind of too good at two shoes for me. But, I like the tough guys, the violence. And, I've been a fan ever since. So when I was approached about 5 years ago, I think, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was approached by my good friend Lenny Lilac at WrestleCon in Tucson, Arizona. And he said he had an opportunity for me. I said, yeah, why not? I can always put another thing on my plate. And, he said he had a great idea, great opportunity. So I came up there to Canada, and next thing you know, I was managing the tag team champions, Modern Day Warriors. Probably one of the best tag teams there ever was in PWA.
Jimmy King and Joey Allen as Modern Day Warriors was amazing. King also tagged with Platinum. They had a good thing going. From that tag team, you guys were rivals with the Lilac family after that, were you not?
Well, yeah, Lilac brought me in, but, being the savvy businessman that he is, he tried to screw me over with the contracts and stuff. So it didn't take long before we turned our backs on him. I believe it was that very night that I got the Warriors. And, we kind of figured we didn't really need him anymore. So we kind of, jumped him a little bit. And, I was okay. But Lilac and I, we're okay right now.
You are indeed. Right now, you guys are probably the hottest commodity alongside the rest of the temple in 365 Pro Wrestling.
Come on. It's not probably, it's for sure.
And what do you attribute all that to? Is it the good book?
Well, of course it's a good book. I mean, the Lord of Professional Wrestling smiled down upon me, handed me the book, said, build me a temple. That's exactly what I did. And, like you see, I mean, everybody's loving the temple these days. It started off, people weren't quite sure what was going on, but, they heard the word of the good book. They saw Jeff Black, Lenny Lilac, CC Moss, three of the most successful athletes in all of Ontario. So, it's hard not to be, enamored by that. And, that's why people want to latch on. They want to latch on to winners, and that's exactly what the temple is. It's a bunch of winners.
Now, I get it. You guys, people are loving it and everything, but how can these fans, maybe it's not a question for you to answer, but for them, how can they love you after all the dastardly things you guys have done? You cut Beautiful Via's hair. You cut her mother's hair. Like, damn.
What, you think there's a problem with that? We're offering free haircut service. I mean, I look around at the fans at the Alpine Club, Registry Theatre, Red Chevron, basically all over Ontario, and I'm pretty sure that at least half of them could benefit from free haircut.
Wow. I guess that is an answer if there is ever one. Now, moving forward, when we can move forward, what's the plan for the temple?
Well, to put it simple, world domination. How about that? It seems 365 is going to be introducing a couple new title belts, and I think my temple is going to get our grubby little hands all over those things. I think coming up, or what we were supposed to have past weekend was 365 Global Champion. That was going to be decided, as well as the 365 Live Champion. And I know for a fact that I had two horses in the race for the Live Champion. Global Champion, maybe not. Temple wasn't represented all that well. Maybe I blame the bookers over at 365. Don't recognize the talent, but that's fine. One way or another, we're going to get our hands on that belt too. So, going forward, I'm thinking the temple is going to reign supreme in not only 365, but all across Ontario.
And you guys are making shots in other towns now for different promotions. How's that been with your just growth?
Well, it's great. It's great for the growth. New fans get to see the temple. They get to hear the word of the good book. They get to see Tex Lexus. They get to see Lenny Lilac, Jeff Black, CC Moss, and all the temple followers. So, once we come into new towns, they're like, hey, man, this temple thing's for real. So, if I want to buy a T-shirt, I'm going to buy a temple T-shirt. And if I'm going to cheer for somebody, I'm going to cheer for the temple. They're just embracing what everybody else is seeing. And, it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Do you think the temple could rule the wrestling world? Is it just time, or is it what's happening?
I mean, of course. What else is going on that you think that the temple can't control or can't get the better of? Basically, I look around the wrestling world, not just in Ontario. I look around all over the place, and I'm thinking that it's a perfect opportunity for the temple to strike. And given the opportunity, I'm pretty sure we would dominate any promotion in this province, any state, any country in the world. Basically, hey, if there was a wrestling promotion on Mars or Jupiter, we'd probably dominate that too.
Do you ever have fears that adding members might dilute what the temple stands for, or do you think you could grow even more with new members, new wrestlers on your temple roster?
Well, I don't see how adding anybody would be detrimental to the temple. I mean, I think back to the days of the NWO, and I mean, they were dominant. They added so many members, and I didn't really keep watching, so I don't really know how all that turned out. But I can just assume that by adding more members, they became very dominant and probably ruled the wrestling world for the next, 10, 20 years.
Cool. What about Warhead? Now, he was in the Temple. He turned his back on the fans for you guys, and that didn't work out too well. He rejoined the fans, rejoined the Kitchener fan base, and now they're cheering for him, but they're also cheering for the Temple. What's up with that?
I don't know, man. It's wrestling fans. Sometimes they like you, sometimes they hate you, sometimes they like both, sometimes they don't like anybody. So, you can ask the fans about that. All I know is that they're loving the Temple now, and all I can say about Warhead is he gave up a good thing. We had him under the book. He was a very good contributing member of the Temple, but I don't know, for some reason he wanted to turn his back on me. He maybe didn't like the fact that I was beating the crap out of Commissioner Corey Spade. And he put me on some kind of crazy chokehold. Next thing you know, I had my head shaved. So Warhead, screw you. How about that? And, the Lord of the Temple, it's too bad you didn't stay, but, I guess we're glad to see you're gone.
Wow. Now, is there such thing as a Temple starter pack? I heard fans may be able to buy a little book with some of the knowledge, a T-shirt, and a triangle.
Well, all these things are in the works there, Osborne. Just next time you have a 365 wrestling show, check out the merch table. You just might find a Temple starter pack there.
Man. And now you guys had Kool-Aid that you sold. It was Kool-Aid. I know it had a sticker on it.
Well, Tex Industries does have a very expansive marketing team, and we pay top dollar for them to come up with great ideas. And we started selling Kool-Aid. We sold about a case, and the big Kool-Aid man, he got his kickback, but for the most part, we made a lot of profit on that. It was a big selling item for the Temple. People loved it.
I thought it was quite amazing. And another thing I thought was quite amazing was your match with Lenny Lilac back in the day when you guys were enemies. It was something else. And the fans ate that up. There's tons of people there for it. What was it for you in that match? Was it a dream come true? Did you hate every minute of it? Did you love every minute of it?
Well, first it was fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun with the fans. I know I like to crap all over their interests, like ice hockey and stuff. And as I do recall, it was the last day, or it was the day right after that both Canadian men's and women's Olympic teams basically lost in the semifinals, securing the fact that they would have no gold. And that's why I was a bit of a jackass, and I came out with a Canada jersey on, and I wrote no gold on the back. And, well, the fans didn't like that very much, and, I thought I was getting the upper hand on them until, we won the match, but then I believe it was Corey Spade and Joey Allen left the ring without me, and the Hot Mess Express jumped me, basically broke my ribs, broke my ankle, shattered my jaw a little bit. I lost a couple teeth. But, Lenny Lilac dropping that elbow on me twice, that pretty much sealed the deal on my ribs. And, I guess I got what was coming to me for that jersey. And at the end of the night, the whole crowd stood and sang their damn national anthem there, "Oh Canada," while I was laying in the ring with busted ribs and no teeth. So, I guess I got what was coming to me. It was fun. It was the very first match I ever had in a professional wrestling ring. It was a lot of fun. I wish I didn't get as injured as I did, but hey, we won the match, so I guess that's all that matters, right?
True enough. Wins matter in wrestling. Now, they sang the national anthem, and that was quite a moment. How does it feel now that every time you guys walk out in Guelph, they sing the song with you guys? They modified it a little bit, probably for the better. How does that feel for you guys walking out? Because all I see is smiles on everyone's faces.
Well, it feels pretty good. Like I said, I mean, I know I was against the fans for quite a while, but now that they're embracing Tex Lexus, they're embracing the Temple, it feels good that they are actually listening to me and listening to the word of the Lord of Professional Wrestling, following the word of the book. And, only thing that can happen is we're making the world a better place. That's what the Temple is all about. We're making things better for everybody. And if people are coming to the shows and they're smiling, they're singing the song, what can be wrong with that?
Nothing can be wrong with that. We encourage that part of wrestling for sure. The fans are wrestling. And now I want to go back a little bit. You seemed a little jaded with the bookers. You weren't getting the main event title matches. You're getting the live matches, which are pretty pretty big because those matches go online. That's what people see. And I know you want people to see Temple, but the Global Championship, that's the number one prize right now. That's what everyone wants. And why do you think you're being jaded? Why do you think it's more of the Josh Alexander's, Judas Icarus's, Tyson Dukes' BMD's getting that shot instead of the Temple?
Well, I don't know. I think that might be a question for the bookers themselves. I mean, I look at the talent that the Temple has. You take guys like Lenny Lilac, you take guys like Jeff Black. I mean, why aren't they in the line for the Global Championship? Those guys have win-loss records better than anybody in the promotion, I believe. And it's guys like that the fans, they love to see. They, as you told me already, they love us in Guelph. You imagine if Lenny Lilac or Jeff Black stepped through that curtain with the Global Championship on their shoulder. Holy smokes, you're going to blow the roof off of that place. But, I don't know. I mean, there are great talents, like you mentioned, Josh Alexander, Judas Icarus. Those guys are elite wrestlers. I mean, and they deserve a global title shot as much as anybody. And I'm just saying that, maybe Jeff Black was overlooked. Maybe Lenny Lilac was overlooked a little bit. But, like I said, we might not win the first one, but we're definitely going to get our hands on that title eventually.
Now, what do you think a Josh Alexander versus Lenny Lilac match would look like? Because they're kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum. Lilac is very entertaining in a different way than Josh is entertaining in his more traditional wrestling style.
Well, if I look into my crystal ball, I only see one thing. I see Lenny Lilac standing in the middle of the ring, hand raised in victory, a global title around his waist, and Josh Alexander in a bloody mess in the middle of the ring. How about that? That's what I see.
Disagree with you. That big elbow is devastating. But that's one of those matches. Ethan Habanero asked on his Weekly Whisper, if you could book the card, what are some of the matches? And that's one that people have talked about a little bit. They talked about Judas Icarus and Jeff Black. I wonder who the next opponent is for CC Moss. What do you think? Will 365 introduce a women's title for CC Moss, or do you think she'll be challenging even for the live title or the global championship?
Well, they should. But since you brought it up, CC Moss is talented enough to challenge for any title in 365, well, whether it be the global championship, the live championship. She's tough enough to win any of those. But a women's championship, she needs to have. If 365 comes out and says, hey, we're a company that doesn't support women's wrestling, we're not going to have a title, then I'm just going to tell CC to leave. Because what the hell is she doing there if you're not going to put gold around her waist? But I know 365 is not a stupid organization, and I know that they're going to introduce a women's championship, and I know that CC Moss is going to be on the top of that list to get that title. So it doesn't matter who you bring into town, bring in any girl you want, CC Moss is going to beat the crap out of them, and we're going to have another Temple title member. That's right.
Does Tex Lexus fear Beautiful Bia?
Absolutely not. Beautiful Bia and I, we had a pretty good feud for, over a year, maybe a year and a half. I respect everything she's done. She's a strong competitor. I wouldn't have given her the time of day if she wasn't. But, she kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe I got under her skin a little bit. And, we came to terms. We came to blows a little bit here and there. She threw rat poison in my eyes, tried to blind me. That's been well documented. She screwed me over with that whole Texas Rose thing, which was supposed to be, my day in the sun. But, Bia and I, we got a lot of history there. And, I'm not afraid of her. But if I see her come to town, maybe I might stay on the opposite end of the ring.
I would as well if I was you, because she was very upset leaving PWA. She's not debuted in 365. We don't know if she will or when she will, but that's always something in the back of my mind there. Now, if the Temple had to add 3 new members from the current roster, who would you pick?
Oh, I am not going to give away my secrets now, Osborne. I already got a few members of the 365 rosters that I got my hands on, or I got my eye on to get into the Temple. But I will disclose that when everybody needs to know about it, okay?
That sounds fair to me. Now, I don't want to hold you up any longer than I have. I really appreciate you doing this and taking the time from
I'm totally
underneath.
Busy here. I'm totally busy here. I got nothing but time right now. But go on.
But I would love to know where fans can reach you and the Temple members.
Well, the Temple members, they're off socially isolating themselves as well. Now, I know that they ask that they do not be disturbed. If they come out by themselves and say, okay, fans, you can come talk to me, that's fine. But I won't be doing that. I don't want to be responsible for them not getting any rest because, Lilac and Jeff Black, they can be kind of surly when they don't get enough rest. So, but for myself, I'm bored as crap down here. So any fans that want to send me a message on Facebook Messenger, I will, gladly talk to them. If they want to send me a message on Instagram, I'll do that as well. Like I said, I did the Lewis Carlin show last night. I told them, specifically, fans, don't send me a phone call. Don't send me a video chat because, we're not that familiar. I don't like you that much. So I won't answer those calls. But text messages, absolutely. Send them on my way.
And I can't believe 36 people called you in 1 hour?
Yeah, 36 people. You mean that? Can you believe that? Yeah.
Wow. All right, Tex.
Phone calls from my mother.
You didn't answer the phone calls from your mother?
Well, I had to. I was screening the calls, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, my mom's calling. I got to answer that one.
There we go. As you are a little bit bored, as you are surly and kind of pent up in that little, I'm thinking it's a dungeon, but nice place you have there. I'd like to call you back in a week.
It's a well-equipped bunker, that's for sure.
Very nice. I'd like to call you back in a week and do this again if you're willing, and maybe we open it up to the fans. And this week I'll post tonight. What would you like to ask Tex Lexus? And then we ask those questions in a week.
Absolutely. I'll be here. I think the pinball machine should be coming on Thursday anyway, so, by Monday I'll be bored with it. So, yeah, give me a call. No problem.
All right. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again in a week.
All right.
I hope you guys have enjoyed that interview with Tex. Like I said, he's quite the character. And now we're going to leave the next one up to you guys. The next Tex Lexus interview, all the questions will be from the fans. So drop us a question on Twitter at 365PW, on Instagram at 365 Pro Wrestling, on Facebook at 365 Pro Wrestling, or even send us an email, 365prowrestling@gmail.com. Let us know your questions for Tex, and we'll get to the bottom of them next week. Thank you so much. Can't wait till episode 65.